Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing some Vintage, and as you can see, I've got trusty old RUG Xerox in front of me. This deck is a classic control deck as Richard Garfield intended. It has 1-for-1 answers, counter spells, removal spells, then card draw spells to pull ahead once you've made your 1-for-1s. And hopefully the end of the game should look like you having lots of cards in hand and your opponent has nothing in hand. And then they die to Tarmogoyf for Oko or, whatever's left over, Hull Breacher. It doesn't matter. Once they're out of cards, you can kill them with whatever you want. If you're not familiar with this archetype, I did use it to go top 16 and second place in Eternal Weekend, 2 of the Eternal Weekend events a couple months ago. The deck's very good, and I like the play style. It pretty much eats any sort of paradoxical outcome deck alive. Underworld Breach is a popular combo deck as well. That's why I have this stocked Graveyard Hate over here. Have Tabernacle for Dredge and Hogak to complement the other Graveyard Hate. Got a couple of cards for shops here. The 3 Shattering Sprees and a Nature's Claim. Lightning Bolt comes in there as well. And then Pyroblast number 4 for the blue mirrors, and Nimble Obstructionist specifically for Doomsday. Those are the matchups I expected to face. I am actually in the middle of an event right now. This is a little unusual. Normally I just play a league and you see the whole thing. Today is a super PTQ, which I normally don't record important events because I play worse when I'm recording. But luckily for you, unfortunately for me, but I went 1 and 2 in the first 3 rounds. I beat the Grixis Tinker combo deck, and I lost to 2 Rug mirrors. So Rug clearly showing up and showing out in this event already, much to my chagrin. But the good news is now that I'm dead for top 8, I can record the rest of the matches. I'm going to record at least 3 or 4 matches for you, win or lose. And if I keep winning, I'll just play out the rest of them. There are 6 matches left in this tournament right now. So let's go play some Vintage. I'm on the play here. I think this hand is pretty good. I'm going to keep it. I have a turn 2 Wrenn and 6. I can look at their hand turn 1 and figure out what I need to do with these preordains. This hand isn't super explosive, but don't count on explosive hands if you play RUG Xerox or Xerox decks in general. They only have a couple pieces of fast mana in them, and you're not going to explode out of the gates regardless. All right, so they do have a Force of Negation, which... Wait, did I not just see Force? Oh yeah, I did. It's at the top. All right, it moved. All right, so they do have Force of Negation, which can mess with my Wrenn and 6 plan. But I'm going to commit to preordaining here. If they want to strip mine me, that's okay. Wrenn and 6 will eventually undo that. Ooh, Mox Sapphire. I'm going to bottom that, top this, and cast the other preordain. It'll be kind of bold of them to try to strip mine me now that I have a Mox, but we'll see what they want to do. I'm going to bottom the Pluto Delta, even though I might need it to make the other color for Wrenn and 6, but I do want to keep my spell velocity moving forward here. All right, there's the Mox. Let's see if they strip or if they strand. If they don't strip, I'm just going to jam Wrenn and 6 and protect it with Time Walk, or with Force of Will. All right, there it is. They went for it. I don't blame them. But my strip mine's going to hit them in a minute. Oh, that was a weird play. I don't like that. They have a fetch land in hand, They could brainstorm for full shuffle fetch value next turn, and they have this ponder as well. I don't know about this. And it hides the information from Gitaxian Probe, but that's about all it does. That ponder was a freebie just hanging there, and they went for the brainstorm instead. Unless they're a combo deck that thinks they can win this turn, but decks like that don't usually play strip mine. So I don't know what's going on over there. All right, I'm just gonna play my land, hang out on the time walk. I'm not gonna cast the time walk here because it's my only blue card for this force. There's the ponder. After they had to draw one of the cards from Brainstorm that they may or may not have wanted. It remains to be seen if this is some sort of like Breach or PO combo deck. I don't think it's PO, but it could be Breach. That will determine if Lightning Bolt's good or not. If this is a Xerox mirror, Bolt's going to be pretty good. Oh my god, dude, they have Ren in 6 now. If this is my third rug mirror in a row. Remember, this is round 4 of this tournament, even though it's the first one I'm recording. Okay, so I can slam Dak Faden with Force of Will backup here. We know they have Force of Negation. The deck does play does play Flusterstorm and Red Blast. I think this is worth going for. Let's hope they do Force of Negation. If they just easily Pyroblast here, then this gets a lot harder. But if they go for the Force, I will Force back. Yeah, they wouldn't have cast Force if they had a 1-for-1 counter like Pyroblast. They could still have Flusterstorm, but I'm going to hope that they don't. Yeah, they pitch the Dig Through Time, which is a big card to pitch. It tells me they don't have another blue card. Are we in? We're in. I'm going to take the Mox Sapphire. I could lose Dak to Lightning Bolt right now, but it did its job. Am I not getting bolted? Saving it for the end step? Alright, didn't get bolted either. I wonder what's in their hand. If they pitched Dig Through Time, which is a great card, to force. So like they don't have a blue card or a counterspell or a cantrip, basically, that they could have cast last turn. Oh yikes. Alright, so they can scroll for Ancestral now. That's pretty good. Alright. Merchant Scroll is a card I may pitch Dig Through Time to protect in this sort of position. Alright, I would very much like to draw a green source this turn. Get this Ren and 6 going. I have 3 draws to do it because I'm gonna plus stack. This Lightning Bolt can probably get out of here. Yuck. Okay, so Lightning Bolt's gone, and I think I have to discard Force of Will here. Because I want the Ren. Pyroblast is pretty close to Force of Will without 2-for-1ing me. I don't want a second Ren. I don't want this island either. I want a green source. Alright, Hull Breacher. That can play. So next turn I can Hull Breacher with Pyroblast backup if I don't strip mine. And I can't take them off a color because they have the Mox. So I think I want to hold on to my strip mine here. Yeah, they've already fired the Ancestral off. Uh-oh. Now I'm in trouble. Yeah, that's pretty aggressive. They're casting spells right now, which is kind of suspicious. When I have mana floating, they can just go to combat and burn my floating mana. I'm going to use my floating mana for Hull Breacher. I don't get to do anything if I don't do this. And if they have a Lightning Bolt or Pyroblast, I want them to have to think about whether DAC or Hull Breacher is the hit. Yeah, I think DAC is the correct answer. And now I have no red mana or green mana. Hull Breacher is going to have to be pretty good here. So they've already cast their Brainstorm and their Ancestral, unless they want to gush in response. There aren't many ways to draw cards at instant speed left in the deck. Like it's all preordains from here. Yeah, there's the gush. Sure. Did they find an answer to Hull Breacher? They did. Right. I mean, that's another 2-for-1. So they have way more cards in hand than me. 2 of them are lands, so they have up to 3 spells in hand right now. And running that gush out the way that they did. Okay, shit. Alright, never mind. I'm over here talking about how we might be okay, but yeah, the scroll for Ancestral on a turn where the shields were down, that is generally where this matchup changes directions. They didn't replay a land. Oh, because they played Wasteland on their turn. Okay, yeah, they didn't have a land drop. That's why they didn't play a land. That's a good reason not to play a land. I don't encourage cheating. But you can see here where my opponent resolved 2 Ancestral Recalls and I didn't. And that's why I'm losing. This matchup is very dependent on like who can get ahead on cards. And I lost that battle. I won the early battle, but when the dust settled, what they had left was Merchant Scroll for Ancestral Recall. Like if they just had something that wasn't Ancestral Recall there, might have been okay. Ah, shit. I'm jamming this straight into a Red Blast. So I can just cast this Treasure Cruise right now, or I can wait a turn to try to back it up with Force of Will. I think I want to strip mine here and just wait on this Treasure Cruise. Because if I find a red source, I can protect it from a Force of Will. And if I find a blue card, I can protect it from Force or Red Blast. I think waiting a turn makes some sense. Uh-oh, this is really bad. I still think resolving Treasure Cruise will be better for me than trying to force this, because they were able to leave up red again. And now I'm in a strip mine lock. Yeah, everything cascades from being able to resolve Ancestral Recall versus not doing that. Ugh. The wheels are off, team. Yeah, I had to bottom a couple of lands off the early preordains. Maybe I should have set up better that way. All right, Wasteland is in their hand, and so is Strip Mine. And now they have multiple mana up. Well, this is what I've played for, so let's try it. They have 5 spells in their hand. Oh god, it's Hull Breacher. It's even worse than I imagined. And the Red Blast cherry on top. Alright, yep, I'm dead. Yeah, like I said, they were able to work the game into a spot where they resolved Ancestral Recall and I didn't. And that is what this matchup is all about. You can answer most other things once the Ancestral Recall dust settles. So Pyroblast is the only thing I'm bringing in the mirror. Like I want to go up to 4 Pyroblast. And I've been struggling with what I'm going to cut because the previous build of this deck had a Force of Negation in the Hull Breacher slot, and I would just cut that. But Hull Breacher's really good, where Force of Negation was really medium. So I am working out what is the most important here. Like, Force of Will is pretty important if you win the fight over Ancestral Recall, and it becomes horrendous if you lose that fight. And when we both have 4 Red Blasts and Flusterstorms post board, Force of Will can be a huge liability. But any card that resolves is such a beating, but I still think that shaving Force of Will is correct. Like the other option is shaving one of the Lightning Bolts and leaving one in, but Lightning Bolt for Hull Breacher is really good. Lightning Bolt clears Narset, pressures the other Planeswalkers, so I'm gonna do this, and I'm not sure if it's right, but I can't think of a better option. Like the other option, I guess, could be like cutting Mox Sapphire, which may sound crazy, but Wrenn and 6 is one of the most important cards to get into play early. So like leaving the red and green Moxen in, I think is better. Like I have fewer sources of those than I do of red and green. But I don't think they're going to bring in Collector Oof. They're not going to have Lavinia. Like I don't mind shaving a Mox against those sort of things, but I think in this particular mirror that you want all your Mox in. Magic's hard. Is all I'm saying. Right, so I left up the Flusterstorm or Pyroblast instead of playing Preordain on my turn, because making sure you're not dead is priority number 1. If they just hang this Tropical Island and play like this, I'm going to waste it. It looks like they're thinking about if they want to fire off Ancestral or not. So they're probably going to do it in my upkeep. Yep. Alright, I'm going to Flusterstorm because that's the one that doesn't get Force of Willed or Mental Misstepped. Alright, yep. First battle is won. Oh. So I can Wasteland them now, and then Ancestral with Pyroblast back up next turn. I mean, they could waste me here, but then we're both just have no permanence, and I still have my Ancestral Recall, and they don't. Yeah, there's the Wasteland. Let's get scrappy. This would be a great time for a Mox Ruby or Sapphire. None of the above. That's fair. So I'm going to run out the Flooded Strand because this can cast Pyroblast, and then next turn I'll Ancestral with Pyroblast protection. Yeah, I'm not going to fight over a Preordain, not when Dak and Oko are in the decks. And them casting Preordain means they don't have Flusterstorm, which was the card I was most worried about. I also wouldn't have been able to win a fight over Pyroblast. Like if they Pyroblast my Ancestral, you can't Pyroblast. And you can, but it won't do what you want. So Now they're committed to a force or misstep. They topped there. All right, well, bang, bang. It's time. Please cast Force of Will and not Mental Misstep. Damn it. I still get my 1-for-1 here, but I would have preferred if they had to 2-for-1 themselves to do this. If they have a force and want to keep fighting, they are going to have to 2-for-1. All right, didn't have it. All right, even hit the ruby, so I get to leave up Pyroblast. That was a very good turn. All right, I'm still just drawing cards, all dressed up. Got to figure out where I'm going. Wrenn and 6 would be actually pretty horrific here, because they do have the Wasteland in the graveyard, and we are in a bit of a graveyard fight. Yep, there's that. That's why Wrenn and 6 is so good in this matchup, because it's not blue, and it's not an instant or sorcery, so Flusterstorm and Pyroblast don't hit it. Okay, they went for Misty Rainforest instead of Wasteland, so trying to screw me off colors is not their plan right now, which is probably right. So I can go for this Dig Through Time, or I can preordain a little bit and see where this goes. All right, what's my plan against this Wrenn and 6 now? I want to get a creature into play and start pressuring it, I guess, is the answer. Like, I have some lightning bolts that can keep it from ultimating for a while, but I do need to get actual board pressure active right now. And going through Dig Through Time when they don't have a red available, I like that a lot. So if I fetch Tropical Island, I can Dig Through Time, leaving up green and red still. All right, I get to leave Ancestral Recall and Wasteland in the graveyard, which are two of the more important cards because Wrenn and 6 and Mystic Sanctuary are both in my deck. All right, so Force of Will and Dreadhorde Arcanist look pretty good here. Force of Will, Dreadhorde Arcanist. All right, that's the sort of consistent pressure I was looking for. That's how you contest Wrenn and 6 on board. They have not cast any of their lightning bolts yet. I have to decide if I'm going to Force of Will a lightning bolt if they cast it. I'll definitely force an Oko. I'm not sure if I'll force Dak. I don't know, maybe I don't force Oko. Maybe I just hold the Pyroblast. But forcing Oko results in me getting to cast Ancestral Recall, because they would elk my Dreadhorde Arcanist. Hull Breacher. Okay, I can zap that with Pyroblast in my main phase. And then still fire off the Ancestral. And if they counter the Pyroblast, I can cast that with Dreadhorde Arcanist instead of Ancestral. So I'm going to get a pretty clean look at killing this Hull Breacher. Oko's never a bad draw. I hope they do Force of Will this. That would be great. All right, coward. All right, so I'm going to attack Dreadhorde Arcanist, or attack Wrenn and 6 with Dreadhorde Arcanist. Ancestral Recall out of the bin. Important to note, casting this with Dreadhorde Arcanist means it's not around for Mystic Sanctuary, but I have other good spells in the deck. That's not going to be a huge deal breaker. So because I missed my land drop, I get to Gush for fun and profit here. So I'm gonna float blue, red, and gush. All right, found Ren and 6 of my own. That's pretty great. Now I don't need to worry about theirs so much. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, so I can play Ren and Oko. All right, I'm gonna play my Volcanic Island so I can protect Ren with Red Blast if I need to. Gonna get back this Wasteland so they don't get any ideas about trying to get into a Wasteland game with me here. I'm gonna jam Oko and make food. Then I'm gonna have to go to discard, and I'm gonna discard the Tropical Island. All right, that was not bad. Now I resolve 2 Ancestral Recalls this game to their 0, versus Ren and 6, which has already drawn 2 cards. It's about to become an Ancestral Recall of its own. But I'm pretty far ahead on board. I have a Force of Will. They would need to like Lightning Bolt, Dreadhorde Arcanist, Pyroblast, Oko, and present a threat this turn for me to be really, really worried. Okay, they just put their Ancestral back on top with Mystic Sanctuary. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see if they can draw it and cast it this turn. Or if they're just setting up for next turn. I probably actually should have discarded the Wasteland to hand size because I'm not going to be wasting them because they have this Ren and 6 in play. It doesn't do anything. It only matters if... I guess if I draw Lightning Bolt and kill Ren and 6 right now, I'll be happy I have the Wasteland. Alright, I'm going to go for a Force on this. They're representing Flusterstorm, but that is what it is. Okay, cool. Did not expect that to resolve. Alright, Treasure Cruise. They made their land drop this turn already, so unless they have Mox Sapphire or Black Lotus, they can't Ancestral right now. That also exiled the Wasteland from their graveyard. Yeah, that Ren had no targets left. That worked out pretty well. Narset, not bad. Yeah, I think I want to get the Trop... Oh wait, I can kill their Ren on board. What am I even doing? So, Alk this. And I guess I need to cast a cantrip. Do I want to take them off green or start taking them off red? Red is the better color. Green is Oko and Tarmogoyf. Like, I can ping their Ren, is what I'm saying here. I'll take them off a color. Or at least try. Do one to anything. I choose you, Ren and 6. I'm actually going to preordain here, not ponder. Because preordain is a higher velocity cantrip when you're just looking for more stuff to do. Ponder is when you're looking for a specific answer to something. Alright, attack Ren, attack Ren. Cast preordain. And top. Alright, Cataxian Probe, I know exactly what I have to fight against now. Mental Misstep will get the Ancestral that I know they have, and I have Pyroblast backup. Alright, Oko, Force, Ancestral, Strip Mine, Wasteland, another Ren. Okay, so the backup Ren's kind of lame. If I... Okay, no, they do have Oko as well. I was going to say if I jam Dak right now, they'd have to pitch Ancestral to counter it, but that's not true. So Let's go here. I am gonna, I guess they can wasteland my red source. Or, no they can't because I have ruby. Okay, we're good. There's the strip mine. Mental misstep this. I'm gonna pay the life. Let's hope they have to force it and they didn't draw. Cool. Looks like we're getting in there. And Flusterstorm can still mess me up. Oh, force pitching force. Okay, so force was the draw. Oko's in hand. Glad I took them off. Green mana. Alright, yeah, red blast that. That should end the game. They have no green mana. They have 2 green cards in hand. Yeah, that's it. On to the third game here. I don't think anything changes about my sideboard plan. I mean, Force of Will on the draw might be a little more tempting, but I still think Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast are just cleaner answers to anything they might be doing. I don't know. Maybe on the draw against Red and 6, I have to respect it more. Yeah, I'll cut a Lightning Bolt for Force of Will on the draw. And when you're on the draw, you get an extra card, so the pitching the card to Force of Will is not quite as painful, though you're still not happy about it. I'm going to keep this hand. It's highly interactive, has a payoff, it just needs some lands. Opponent's on 6 so far. I might have to fetch my basic island, which I'm not excited about. Hopefully I just draw 2 lands on my first 2 draw steps and don't have to worry about that. Alright, so they're just fearlessly preordaining turn 1. Either their hand doesn't interact, or they just have nothing to bluff, or they're not scared of what I could do turn 1. So any of those are reasonable ways to feel. And drawing Mox Ruby is great. Now I can preordain and still hold up Pyroblast, or I could hold up Flusterstorm and Pyroblast. I'm just going to get my basic island and preordain though. Oh, nice. I'll keep both of these. So I do have Pyroblast plus Force of Will in hand. I have the DAC plus Hull Breacher combo ready to go if we can work our way to it. So I don't think I'm going to jam DAC on my turn. Oh, that's interesting. I could fight over this, but I'm not going to. I still think fighting over the payoffs is going to work out for me better than trying to beat them up on cantrips. Yeah, they top bottom the preordained, so I don't think that they're like desperately hunting for something. If they bottom preordained, then maybe this brainstorm would be a little juicier of a target. Uh-oh. That's a powerful card. Let's see where it's going. I hope their plan is to jam like Oko or DAC with red blast backup. Oh, this looks like Tarmogoyf. Yikes. Tarmogoyf is a big fella. How do I beat this on this board? Them holding up red mana here is kind of a nightmare. But I guess I have to go for it. As Flusterstorm's not going to answer this Tarmogoyf anyway. Oh, nice. I was really worried about Red Blast, but I think they would have led on that before they pitched something to force. Oh, pitching Narset. Ooh, all right, crisis averted. Unless they have a second Tarmogoyf as their last card. Okay, it's Ponder. Ooh. All right, so now I am gonna jam, or I guess I should probably jam Halberd Breacher, not Dak. No, Dak can turn this Lightning Bolt into another card. They did not shuffle off their Ponder. Yeah, I think getting Dak into play is going to be more valuable here. Though them top decking Grafdigger's Cage, what does that even do? What does that even do? Like, Mystic Sanctuary doesn't stop that. Oh, Dreadhorde Arcanist, that's what it does. I only play one of those, so that's not too bad. Now I actually think I want a Hull Breacher. As top decking in this mirror, like the only reasonable way out of a top deck war is Ancestral Recall or Treasure Cruise. And I don't want any of those to be live draws. I'm just going to get this in right now. All in. If this draw step is a brick, then Dak is about to obliterate this game. Okay, it was not a brick. All right, well, Dak's still pretty good here. I'm going to try to change my hand so it contains Force Blue card. Like, I don't think I'm going to need this Lightning Bolt. Oh, Strip Mine is tempting. So I could discard Lightning Bolt, Force of Will. I still have my land drop. Yeah, so I'm going to discard Lightning Bolt, Force of Will. And I'm going to strip them off red. Because now they can't Pyroblast. If they do draw a spell they can cast, Mental Misstep counters it. Unless it's Treasure Cruise. Oh god. Don't Treasure Cruise me. Alright, time to draw Wrenn and 6. Just keep jacking. Alright, I don't really care what's in their hand for probe. Alright, so now I can start decking them if I want to. Oh, Gush was a great draw. Because I haven't made a land drop. Yeah, this one feels like a steamroll in my direction. Oh, Flusterstorm. Not bad. That's a pretty good card to have in your one card hand in exactly this situation. And it doesn't even really matter. It just countered Gush. I'm still way ahead here, now they're Hellbent again. I only really care about red cards in this spot. Alright, so Wrenn and 6. Pretty good. Force of Will, Oko, Pyroblast. Oko is the one that can start winning the game, but I think if I just take Pyroblast, it'll be hard to lose the game. And Dak is gonna ultimate pretty soon. Yeah, I like Pyroblast better here. And I have extra lands hanging out. Alright, so this Tropical Island and bonus Dak can go away. I'm gonna waste them again. Just gonna be super aggressive about that. There are not many cards in their deck that I need to respect at this point. Even the Treasure Cruise now is covered by Pyroblast. And now I can deck them because I have Narset, they draw 1, then discard 2, and then they're hellbent again. And found the Wren and 6, which can regrow the Wasteland or the Strip Mine. It's also lots of extra cards to discard with Dak, turn them into real cards. Pick up Strip Mine. Alright, I have left the Pyroblast shields down here, but I still have the Mental Misstep shields up. This is the Desperation Pyroblast. It's funny because that was the best draw on the deck. That's probably exactly what they wanted, but I had it covered. And now I can strip the Volcanic Island and I have 3 Planeswalkers to their nothing. Alright, finally on the board in a Rug Mirror. See you next round. Alright, I'm on the draw here. I am not going to keep this hand. I might consider it on the play when I get the first crack at preordaining for a land, but if I'm against something like Shops and they just play Sphere of Resistance or Chalice on 1 or 0 and I just lose, that's not okay to me, so I'm going to mulligan this. Rewarded with an Ancestral Recall, so I'm going to keep this and send one of these lands to the bottom. So I'm going to get to take a peek, see if my Gataxian Probe is, or see if my Ancestral is good or not, and then crack it off if it is, and do something different if it's not. Verdant Catacombs. We could be playing against Hogak, or more likely Bug Control. Bug? Yeah, there's the bug. Alright, so Deathrite Shaman might change my interest level in casting Ancestral right away. I might want to bolt this first. Oh, they are Hogak. Alright, that was a surprise. Okay, so I can Lightning Bolt the Deathrite Shaman. Bazaar of Baghdad, that's a lot of Force of Vigors. That is not what they wanted here. Yeah, they're not going to have interaction for this Ancestral next turn, so I want to slow down what I can this turn. And then next turn I'm going to want to Ancestral for looking for a Wasteland or a Strip Mine to clip this Bazaar. That was a really good draw. Among the best. Oh no, if they hit a Basking Rootwalla off of this Bazaar, they can just have Hogak this turn and Vengevine. Okay, ooh, that was close. So Force of Vigor, they have 2 Force of Vigors left over there that I know about. Right, Force of Will, not bad. That can slow down the Hogak a little bit. This is a really bad game 1, though. Game 2, we're gonna have to find some more. We're gonna bring in the sideboard hate. I don't know why that was so hard for me to spit out. We're gonna have to find some bad. All right. I'm gonna get the tropical island. Preordain. I'm looking for an answer to Bazaar. I'm gonna force the Hogak pitching Flusterstorm this turn. And gotta slow that down a little bit. Tarmogoyf's gonna be pretty large and should be able to tangle with most other things. Hullbreacher's actually pretty solid against this type of Bazaar deck. It doesn't do anything against Dredge because Dredge replaces the draw, so they never actually draw a card. But this deck actually is trying to draw cards. Wasteland's a little annoying, but should be fine. That gets forced. Unfortunately, if they're holding a 1-drop, or if they find one off Bazaar, they can still... That 1-drop will trigger Vengevine, and then they can use the Vengevine and that 1-drop to cast Hogak again. Just hope that they miss. It was pretty bold wasting before they knew what they were going to do. Yep, there's that. At least that doesn't cast Hogak, but it is another 4/4 creature on board. That casts Hogak. Alright, well, they're hellbent. Now I just have to hope that Tarmogoyf can stabilize this board. And it's probably not going to, because Hogak's coming back next turn. That is the... Oh, there's Wasteland right on time. You wise guy. And I have to get Tarmogoyf in right now. If I find the second one, they might be able to challenge Hogak together. Also worth noting here, I have instant sorcery land in my graveyard. I don't have a creature, so if they cast Hogak and double away all their creatures, that can kill my Tarmogoyf if I block one of these 4-power creatures. So I don't actually have very good blocks here. This is the type of game where Tabernacle out of the sideboard is clutch. Let's see if they exile all their creatures like they're supposed to. Yep. They know what they're doing. Curses. Yeah, I'm dead. I guess I could go to 1 here and string together some sort of like Ancestral Recall into, or I've already Ancestraled, so some sort of Time Walk business. Yeah, just dead. Okay. Ripping that Stitcher Supplier off the top the turn after I checked their hand was everything. Okay, so lots of graveyard hate is what I've got. So 4 Rav Trap, 2 Soul Guide Lantern, Tabernacle, and Surgical Extraction, all looking good here. Shattering Spree can clean up Hollow Ones. Pyroblast comes out. Force of Will is also not very good here. I'll figure out if I want to cut all of them, but I definitely want to cut some of them. Gitaxian Probe, I don't care what's in their hand. Narset is kind of medium. So is Hullbreacher, actually. I like Dak. Dak stealing Hollow One is a big play. Gotta cut 3 more cards here. Wrenn and 6 getting them into a Wasteland loop is actually a big part of the plan. Flusterstorm is not good. And Mental Misstep might be the last one to get the chop. And Hullbreacher and Narset do meaningfully challenge Bazaar. Now, I'm actually going to cut Hullbreacher. It doesn't match up against any of their creatures in combat well, and like it costs 3 mana. Like, when am I gonna clip a Bazaar with that? So that's not going to happen. And this is the sideboard plan I'm going to present. The last time I played this deck, I had Ley Lines, which are susceptible to Force of Vigor, and you have to mulligan to them. And I'm very glad I don't have to do either of those things this time. I'm going to keep this. It has a piece of Graveyard Hate in it. And I'm going to preordain. Don't want any of that. Okay, so finding Wasteland would be ideal. Yeah, there's the Bazaar. Hopefully they don't punish my non-Soul Guide Lantern turn 1. Yeah, Vengevine is how they punish it, and they had one. Oh, maybe I should have misstepped that. Ugh, damn it. Should have put the thing into play. So now I'm looking for Tabernacle. Lightning Bolt's also buys me a little bit of time here. Black Lotus, what do? You play Oko, but does Oko help me? Also, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could just Treasure Cruise right now, but I'm pretty sure Okoing will be better. Like, Oko can just make Hollow One smaller and then absorb some damage in combat. Is that something I'm interested in? Oko can also turn Soul Guide Lantern into a 3/3 and fight Vengevine in combat, but then I don't have Soul Guide Lantern. Alright, I'm just gonna cast Oko. So I can plus Oko, make a food, which makes them attack with 2 creatures. I think I just want to Elk, Hollow One, take less damage off of that for a little while. And Soul Guide Lantern. Like, I didn't lead on Soul Guide Lantern because just playing it on turn 1 when they don't even have a graveyard just runs it straight into the Force of Vigor. So I tried to play around that and ended up getting punished with the Vengevine. Alright, so if they do have Force of Vigor, I can pop Lantern to draw a card. If they don't have it, I am safe from their graveyard for a turn. Only exiles opposing graveyard, so Treasure Cruise still live. Like, I'm just desperately searching for Tabernacle at this point. Maybe I'm supposed to Treasure Cruise last turn? I don't know. Like, just digging for a specific one-outer. Maybe I'm supposed to just draw as many cards as possible as quickly as possible. Let's see if they play around Lightning Bolt and attack with everything. Yeah, they played around Lightning Bolt. Good. I didn't have it, so I'm glad they played around it. Another Hollow One. Okay. And a Deathrite Shaman. Alright, I'm going to misstep that. That's another card in my graveyard. I'm going to draw a card with Soul Guide Lantern also. They have enough in play that I don't need to worry about their graveyard at this point. Or, not that I don't need to, but I can't afford to. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on, Tabernacle. Bummer. So I did find Lightning Bolt. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, I can survive this turn, and the Rav Trap is a good one. So Rav Trap is on immediately. Oh, there's Hogak. I hope they pass priority. Okay, so with Deathrite Shaman on the stack, I'm gonna get Volcanic Island, Lightning Bolt, Vengevine, and then Rav Trap them. Alright, then I take my 8 damage. I'm dead on board, gotta find Tabernacle. And even if I do, that's actually not enough because I'm at 4 and they have a 4/4. So I need to like string together some time walks and shit. It's not looking good, especially with that wasteland. Alright, so preordain, if I find time walk and then tabernacle in that order, I can win. I found neither of those things in any order, so I lose. Alright. That matchup, I think, is pretty positive. I beat it, I think, in a Eternal Weekend. I played something like 30 rounds of Vintage, and I played against various flavors of Hogak, I think 9 times, and I went 8-1. I don't know if the sideboard change, getting off the ley lines, is the problem. Maybe I just kept a bad hand. Maybe their hand just lined up well against my hate, and one thing or another, definitely didn't feel so good there. But next round, I'm on the play here. Unfortunately, this Mox is green. If this was any blue source, I would slam this hand, but as is, got a mulligan. Oh no, can't keep this. The old turn 3 DAC in Vintage is not what you're looking for if it's not backed up by spells before it. I don't even know if I could keep like turn 3 DAC. Like if 2 of these lands at random were Force of Will, Treasure Cruise, like I don't even think I could keep that hand. So definitely Mulligan City again. Opponent kept 7. That's nice. Oh, okay. I'll keep this. So I think. So what I have to do here is fetch a red source, crack Lotus Petal for blue, cast DAC with Flusterstorm backup. So Ponder isn't necessary for that plan, and I can either keep the Tarmogoyf to follow up the DAC, or I could keep the land to cast spells I draw with DAC. I think I'll save the Tarmogoyf for later. Alright, so let's do the thing we said. If they heads up force the Lotus, I'm actually in a little bit of trouble. So red, red, blue, DAC Vaden. That just resolved. That feels like they're F6'd. So I'm going to put Flusterstorm and Lightning Bolt in the graveyard and then cast Preordain with my floating mana. Bottom Oko, top Tarmogoyf. If they're F6'd, they might just be shops, in which case jamming Tarmogoyf is one of the best things you can do. Ancient Tomb, looks good to me. Yeah, so that's going to turn off the deck. Good thing we have this Tarmogoyf. Alright, let's see what's coming. 3 Wastelands, Godfarer, Satru, and Crucible. Okay, so definitely glad that Tarmogoyf is here. Yeah, so they're a super hateful version of basic lands, or non-basic lands. Just leaning in on the Wasteland strat against this Tarmogoyf is bold, unless they top-decked Dismember. Alright, that's not what happened. And you chose this world. Let's live in it. So they're going to have to waste me again at this point. I don't think they can pivot off their plan. Even though, I don't know, I feel like they should, actually. I take that back. That was a silly thing to say. I'm not going to play this Wasteland. I want to be able to snipe one of their lands with it. Like if they take a turn to develop, Also, they should not be attacking Dak, I don't think, because if Dak goes in the graveyard, that makes Tarmogoyf a 5-power creature, which makes this a 2-turn clock instead of a 3-turn clock. Alright, they don't seem worried about it, though. Get in there again. Whap. Maybe I should have left my Wasteland in play, because if they Ghost Quarter my Wasteland, I do play a basic that I could get. Yeah, you better chump. Now, if they waste this, it's like I wasted them, because they still end up down a land. Alright, they get to chump another turn. Alright, come on, Ancestral Recall, off the top right now. Sign me up for that. Alright, it didn't do anything, but that's still pretty good. That's why it's important to always yell out the name of the card you want to draw. Because how else will your deck know what to do? Oh god, did they find Golos? Alright, there's Golos. It's in chump mode. Is there a land that can fuck me up here? If I draw a land, I can gush and do a bunch of stuff. Oh, Tabernacle's a good one. Oh, they actually are pretty close to taking control of this game. Wasteland. Oh god, I'm actually gonna lose this game. Wow. That's a tilt. I guess that turn I wasted their Ghost Quarter. I should have just left Wasteland in play. Yep, needed Force of Will or something. Like I needed to hit my land drop off of that Ancestral Recall and I just didn't. So yeah, I'm just dead. Ugh. So close. Controlled the shit out of the early game and then it just fell off because I couldn't do anything in the mid game. Unfair. Alright, so lost with turn 1 Dak against Shops. So they seem to be a prison-y style Shops more than a creature style Shops. So Lightning Bolt, and they did show me Revokers, and they were pretty good, so I do want the Lightning Bolt. Now the Pyroblast, Flusterstorm, and Mental Misstep all have to come out because they have no text. And Gitaxian Probe isn't particularly good either. This sideboard clearly wasn't mapped out very well because I have less cards I want to bring in than cards I want to, or more cards I want to cut than I want to bring in. I guess Obstructionist like at least has text in the matchup. Do I want to turn this Gitaxian Probe into something like Tabernacle? Guess I could bring in the Surgical, but that's not actually good, and I'm not happy about the play at all if I do that. Like I'm just thinking like that game, like the exact situation that happened where they had 3 Wastelands in hand, like Surgical would have been okay, but I don't think that's actually a good plan. And they showed me they have their own Tabernacles, so I don't want to just spend it on, like, I don't want to give them a card that they want. It's probably better for them than it is for me in most situations. So maybe I'll just keep the Gitaxian Probe. It is a blue card for Force of Will, at the very least. And let's go. That was a heartbreaker. Had to be exactly Golos, and they had to have the 4th waste effect also. But like I said, if I had just held my Wasteland that turn I went after their Ghost Quarter, I would have had Wasteland for Tabernacle, or they would have had to lose 2 lands, wasting my waste, and then I waste in response. Or if they went for Ghost Quarter on Wasteland, I could have searched out the basic. So I messed that game up. There was a turn where I had a decision to make and I made the wrong one. Yeah, Renin 6 is good, Tarmogoyf's good, Dak's very good. I actually had like one of the best possible starts, just turn 1 Dak, turn 2 Tarmogoyf against shops, and they just had it beat. Would like to play first. Shattering Spree's pretty good. Lightning Bolt's good too. And this hand isn't proactive, but it does play. I'm going to keep it. It's having one of my small number of mocks in the matchup as well. Uh-oh. How dead am I? Oh, no, they have so much mana. Okay, that can name Mock Sapphire and I can bolt it. I was hoping they would have Revoker because that lines up well. Makes my Lightning Bolt line up well. Alright, so now they can't waste me. They've made their land drop. I'm gonna Lightning Bolt this thing in response. Alright, they can play up to a 3-drop now. Alright, they didn't have it. That's good. I'm gonna go on a spree. Gonna destroy Sphere of Resistance and replicate 1. Also gonna destroy Black Lotus. Just deny as much as I can. They have 3 cards in hand. 2 cards in hand. 1 card. Oh my god, is it Golos? Oh, it looks like a Ballista or a Stone Coil Serpent. It looks like an X spell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it Chalice on 3? Stone Coil Serpent for 6. Okay. Yeah, they saved the Wasteland. So I have 2 more Shattering Sprees and a Nature's Claim in the deck that can beat this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can Treasure Cruise here. Right, Hull Breacher, Nimble Obstructionist, not particularly helpful. A second Lightning Bolt does kill this thing. Now they're in that miserable shops stage of the game where they're just going to top deck a perfect banger instead of just, you know, like an Ancient Tomb. They're going to draw a second Stone Coil Serpent or like the Trinisphere or whatever. Now I'm dead on board. Oko does not help me because these have protection from multicolor. Alright, I can block Bolt with Hull Breacher to kill one of them. Maybe in my dream fantasy world, they'll just draw an Ancient Tomb this turn instead of the perfect card. They probably drew Dismember. Just watch. 6 plus 4. I'm still taking 10 here. Alright, got a top deck. One of my outs to this thing. Merchant Scroll. What do? You find Ancestral Recall, at the very least. Alright, so Ancestral Recall, dig through time. I can't dig, so Ancestral is going to see the most cards. And I'm looking at 2 Shattering Sprees, and a Nature's Claim as outs in this game. Time Walk gets me another look. So Do I fetch before or after? If I find Time Walk, I'm gonna wish I fetched after, because I can get the Mystic Sanctuary. Alright. Let's go. Give it to me. We got outs. We just cast an exciting card to find them. Opponent chose this moment to go get a sandwich, just sweating me on my Ancestral Recall. Oh, bad manners. Alright, I have another look with Preordain. Okay, Gush is 2 more looks. I'm gonna bottom the Brainstorm because that does not find what I need. Like, I don't have the mana for it. Come on, deck. I've seen so many cards this turn. Ah! Okay. Yep. It came down to them just ripping the best card in their deck off the top of the deck instead of a land on a turn where it mattered. Even if those draws happened in a different order. Like if they bricked the first draw and drew Stonecoil on the second, then I have more time. Yeah, that was just really... That's magic sometimes, folks. I'm on the play this round. I have a turn 1 Ancestral Recall with Force of Will backup, so I'm a keep. I'm gonna Ancestral in their upkeep. That plays around Force of Negation, and it means that if it just resolves, I don't have to discard cards to hand size. It's almost always been... Oh, my opponent watches YouTube. So it's almost always been right to Ancestral in the opponent's upkeep, depending on how much fast mana you play on turn 1, so you don't have to discard the cards. But now with Force of Negation being a card that exists, it's even more correct. Again, I say, like, it depends on the deck. Like a deck like Paradoxical Outcome that plays the maximum number of zeros, you might just want to Ancestral on your turn to see where it goes. But in a deck like this one, the upkeep pause, my opponent's already rolling their eyes, I'm sure. If they fight over this, I hope it's with Force and not Misstep. Misstep is restricted, but the amount of times my opponent has it for my turn 1 Ancestral Recall is very high. Alright, didn't have it. Yikes, missed on a land. They mulled to 6. And click through their first main phase. Okay, they Badlands. So this must be Storm. So they're going to cast Defense Grid here, probably. Like, Dark Petition Storm is basically the only deck that would play Badlands. Oh, I lied. They're goblins, apparently. Well, fuck me. Okay, I don't feel too bad about misdiagnosing goblins. Chalice on 1. Yeah, I don't really want to play against that. I'll pitch Flusterstorm. I don't think it's going to do much in this matchup. Let's see if they have Simian Spirit Guide, Red Blast. But I guess if they had that, they would have counted by Ancestral. Well, team, time to find a land. It would be a real shame for this insane start to fall apart. Okay. I actually want both of these. I can Preordain again, try to hit land number 3 on time, or hold up Lightning Bolt. I think I want to Preordain again. Oh. Or I could just do that. I want both of these. Like, stealing their Chrome Mox does seem really good. All right, I'm going to top. So I can either play the Black Lotus to represent Lightning Bolt if I need to. I could also flash in Hull Breacher, but I think I would rather not do that. Like, I don't want to hang it out and just lose it to like Tin Street Hooligan or some garbage. So if they can produce a Goblin Lackey with haste this turn, I might regret my choice. All right, there's half the equation. And Snoop with Recruiter on top. Okay, this is getting scary. So I'm gonna Dak Faden, steal their Chrome Mox, Lightning Bolt Snoop, and I can still preordain with what's left over. Or I could, can I Dak, Snoop, and, all right, I have 5 mana, so that's not enough to Ren and 6, shoot Lackey. All right, this is actually a little bit scary. Maybe I need to ignore Chrome Mox for the turn and forget about Dak. So Ren and 6 can ping Goblin Lackey, and I can Bolt Snoop. The Recruiter is still on top of the deck, though, which is among the scarier cards that they're capable of producing. So I'm going to go with Lotus. And I think I have to start by making blue with this. Because if I find a land off Preordain or Dig Through Time, then I can cast Ren and Bolt. So yeah, I'm going to make blue off of this. Start with a Preordain. All right, I found Force of Will and land. That's pretty good. So what's more important? I think forcing Goblin Recruiter is going to be a big deal. But clearing these things out, if I Dig Through Time, I don't have enough mana to do both. All right, I think I'm just going to have to send the Force of Will. And oh, I guess I still had the mana for that. Yeah, I'm just playing bad. I forgot I had the so I just sent the card I wanted to the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I still get to Dig Through Time. Loosey goosey, baby. So now I have to dig for Force of Will when I literally just had it. So dig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And appropriately punished. I don't even feel bad about that. I deserve it. So what's going to be helpful here? Dreadhorde Arcanist, I guess, blocks Goblin Lackey, so I don't need to pick it off with Ren. So I'll take Arcanist, and is it Preordain, Tarmogoyf, or land? I guess I would take Gush before I take land. Yeah, I'll take this Gush. Then Dreadhorde Arcanist. And I should Lightning Bolt Snoop before they untap and reveal Kiki Jiki. So I can Gush looking for Force of Will if I think that's important. And Ringleader is a fucking magic card, though. Like, they can set up Ringleader into Snoop into combo, I think. Like, I'm pretty sure that is the combo card. I'm so mad at myself for getting rid of that Force of Will for no reason. Ugh. Matron, okay. So they're taking a turn off of Ringleadering, or Recruitering, to set up something with Matron. This is probably something that kills Dreadhorde Arcanist. Or sets like I don't actually know what the combo is. Okay, yeah, they just found some removal. So we know their hand is Munitions Expert and Recruiter. I'm gonna get to crack off an Ancestral Recall here. I'm not gonna use the Lightning Bolt. That's not my plan. Found the Force of Will. All right, this should be good from here. So I can cast actually 2 Ren and 6s and pick off both of these goblins. Yeah, that actually looks kind of worth it. Since they dug for that Munitions Expert, which was specifically to kill Dreadhorde Arcanist, now they're down to 0 goblins in play. Yeah, let's do this. Alright, that's not Cavern of Souls. No problem. Alright, despite my best efforts, it looks like I am back on top in this game. And there's a Lightning Bolt in the graveyard. I don't think I want to cast that right away. Wasteland, not bad. So I can Wasteland them and Dak to steal their Crow Mox. So I'll float blue-red, cast Gush. I'm looking for a 1-mana cantrip to feed this Dreadhorde Arcanist. I don't think I want to just bolt their face. That's not what I was looking for. I can play Dak now. Dak combos with Ren and 6. It's just lots of extra cards. Though, if I'm on the mana denial plan, yeah, I think I like that better. I'm still holding up Force Blue card. Okay, so they can Munitions Expert. I think this can hit Planeswalkers, yeah. So they can kill Dak if they want to. But I don't even care if they do that, because then they're Hellbent, and I can use the Lightning Bolt to finish off the Munitions Expert, and they just have 2 lands and play no cards in hand versus Ren and 6 and Dreadhorde Arcanist. Yeah, I'm not even going to counter this. I don't think I care about it. Like, I'm just trying to be disciplined here. Oh wow, why would they deal 1 to Ren and 6 and not to Dak? Was that a misclick? This doesn't have Death Touch. That card would be a lot better with Death Touch. Interesting. Alright, I still have Dak for some reason. And I'm gonna Lightning Bolt this creature. Now we're sitting on Force of Will, 2 Planeswalkers versus nothing. I'm gonna waste first. I'm not sure if that's right, because if they top decked a second Munitions Expert, I could have played around it by plussing Dak as soon as I had priority. But I would rather get my Ren activations in before I have to plus Dak. Oh, we'll see. Alright, just nothing at all. I get this back, plus me. Oh wait, nope. We can do this now. I think plussing me is still better, but I'm gonna have fun with this. This is the first time I've assembled this. I'm going to do it. Yeah. Breach those halls. Okay, what do I do against goblins? Lightning Bolt comes in. Tabernacle, I guess, comes in. Surgical Extraction can shuffle their deck after a Recruiter. Nimble Obstructionist can counter a Matron or Lackey or something. There's a lot of triggers in that deck, and I just have to get the Pyroblast out. I would ideally get these two Flusterstorms out too. They did show me Chalice of the Void and Chrome Mox, so I guess Shattering Spree isn't the most embarrassing thing. And it's not, I'm not excited about it, but it's certainly better than Flusterstorm. And what's left? Like, again, I don't really care about what's in their hand with Gadaxian Probe, probably, but I can leave it in. There is no Force of Negation. Yeah, this looks good to me. In we go. I've been seeing a lot of exciting screenshots from at Goblin Lackey on Twitter lately, playing Vintage Goblins, so I'm pretty excited I get to play against it now. I hope it doesn't pop off just for my own selfish reasons, but I have seen some pretty exciting screenshots of what this deck can do. His hand is not exactly a banger, but it's not bad. I don't think it's a mulligan. Like having three answers actually to a turn 1 Goblin Lackey. Like I have the Force of Will. If they have Cavern of Souls, I can bolt it, and if they somehow also have Mental Misstep, I have Dreadhorde Arcanist, which is just a 1/3 to block. So 3, and I can cast all of it because of free spells and Black Lotus. So yeah, this is a pretty stacked hand. I'm not going to get cheesed out by a Goblin Lackey with this pile. They also mulled to 5. So I'm not sure if they're the type of deck that would mulligan to a crazy explosive start, or if they just have to keep any playable hand. I just don't know what the priority is over there. All right, they're on 5. Oh, there's the Cavern. I planned for that. All right, there's the Lackey. Can't counter it. Can they give it haste somehow? Hopefully I can counter whatever would give it haste, if that is what's about to happen. All right, just turn 1 Lackey. Got it. So I'm gonna Lotus and Lightning Bolt plus Arcanist. Do they have the Mental Misstep? Nope. All right, we're in there. These Force of Wills look pretty embarrassing against the Cavern, but Arcanist plus Lightning Bolt really covers the other direction as well. And I guess, I don't know what non-goblin spells are in the deck I need to worry about. Like we saw Chalice of the Void last game. It's probably reasonable to believe they play Thorn of Amethyst. I don't know. Let's hope that this mull to 5 just crumbles under the removal of Lackey. I would like to draw a cantrip pretty soon, though. Get this Arcanist to work. He's currently just hanging out, collecting unemployment. Another Lackey. All right. All right, let's have a look. That is a cantrip. So Dreadhorde Arcanist can draw another card. Muxus, Leyline of the Void. Chalice of the Void. Oh, they're an Of the Void theme deck plus Muxus. That is a unfortunate hand for them. It's pretty good for me. All right, well, Lightning Bolt. Yeah, they are in some trouble over there. And I have the Force of Will for the Chalice. All right, time for Dreadhorde Arcanist to draw cards and get us out of this. Unsuccessful so far. Show me those cards again. Okay, Hull Breacher. That card has text. It has power and toughness. This Wasteland's pretty awkward because they probably don't want to use it. Ooh, exile the Leyline. That's pretty hot technology. All right, I'm going to quadruple the clock here with Hull Breacher. Someday I'll find a spell. Hopefully I won't really need a spell. Like, they have Muxus in hand and they're 3 mana away from casting it. Yikes. This is not going perfectly. It's safe to say. Though, I mean, I can't complain. I just have so many cards in my deck. Like, even Preordain off the top would break this game open. And instead, we're hanging out over here with Surgical Extraction and 6 lands. Uh-oh. Only 2 mana away from Muxus now. In like, Ancient Tomb off the top doesn't even cast Muxus. Hallelujah. There's Preordain. Now we're playing the game. Ugh. Come on, deck. How many lands are in here? Okie dokie. It's not quite lethal, but it's very close. So I Time Walk, Mystic Sanctuary, Time Walk back on top. Attack for 2 more, or 4 more. Oh, no, this is lethal. Yeah. I get the 3rd turn. Yeah. That is the game. Not sure what their 1 card in hand could be to mess me up here, but I think they would have cast it by now if they had anything. Take 1 more walk through time. Mystic Sanctuary, powerful magic card. All right. So that was round 8. I guess there's 1 more round left in this tournament. I might as well play it out. All right, we got 1 more to go, team. All right, so I'm on the play here in the next round, and I have a turn 1 Tarmogoyf, which is not really great in a lot of vintage matchups, but I can back it up with Hull Breacher, or with Force of Will. The problem is, if I go for this, I have to fetch green, which means I'm off this Pyroblast for a while. I also don't have any cantrips or anything to keep up. I'm actually going to keep this for science. I think if I were like undefeated, I would probably mulligan to be super careful. But right now where everything is made up and the points don't matter, I'm going to try a hand like this. All right, opponent is mulling to 5. So could be some combo deck, could just be unlucky. But Tarmogoyf's coming into play either way. Old 1-2 Tarmogoyf. Alright, so they do want to fight over this. That's interesting. So if I force back, like, do I just take my Hymn to Tarak against the opponent who mulled to 5? Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, they forced pitching Time Walk, so yeah, I'm in for that. Glad I didn't fight over that. So do I pitch Oko or Hull Breacher? Probably Oko. Hull Breacher is easier to cast. I mean, I can't cast either of them. But Hull Breacher does more damage, especially against the opponent on 2 cards in hand. Oh, baby. Do I waste or play Hull Breacher? Alright. Try to screw him. I think leaving up Hull Breacher and then getting that into play, then untapping and wasting might have been the better play. We'll see. Alright, never punished. So now I'm holding up Pyroblast or Hull Breacher based on what they've got. Let's hope they just untap and jam Ponder. I'm going to end step this Hull Breacher. If they have Blue Blast or Red Blast or Lightning Bolt, it's whatever. At least I'm pressuring them in their end step. Ooh, Force of Will, pitching Flusterstorm. Okay. So they're hellbent. Time to pull ahead. How about a Ren and 6? Dig Through Time is not a joke either. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I can dig through time and still leave a wasteland in my graveyard. But I'm not going to dig right now. I want to hold up this Pyroblast in case they top deck something I'm worried about. Yeah, I'm going to let them ponder, and then I can dig next turn, protect it with Pyroblast. So like they're going to need to get ahead somehow. Interesting. Alright, since they're hellbent, now's the time to do this. Don't need to protect it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leaving Wasteland in the bin for the Ren and 6 that's right there. I think Ancestral Recall and Narset are a better things to find anyway. Alright, they're just packing it up to that. Fair enough. That game was pretty far over. So I saw red mana and vintage spells. I don't think I saw anything that would put them on any particular deck other than just a generic blue deck. Like they could be some sort of Breach. They could be Jeskai or RUG Xerox. They can't be Bug. We did see Volcanic Island. So I think just the Pyroblast is going to come in. Options on the Lightning Bolt. So last time I played against the Xerox Mirror, what did I do? I had my 4 forces in on the draw. I'm on the draw now. So what did I cut? Did I cut Lightning Bolt? It's either Lightning Bolt or Force of Will, or I'm really not opposed to cutting a Mox, which I know might be unpopular, but I don't mind. Alright, I'm actually going to cut a Force of Will, even on the draw. Let's do it. Yeah, if there is a game 3, I'll have more information about their deck. Huh. Can I mulligan a turn 1 deck, even if it is just a bunch of lands? I'll keep it. Alright, so we've now seen Tropical Island as well. Pretty sure I didn't see one of those in game 1. I did see Mox Green, Mox Emerald. Alright, time to draw Flusterstorm or Pyroblast. Or backup deck. Bang, bang. Oh, they're thinking about this. Please force it. Not sure what this pause is about, unless they just went to the bathroom. So blue, 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 red, DAC. This is probably going to get forced, but I have a follow-up. Force, pitching, Flusterstorm. Okay. I did just tip my hand pretty hard that I don't have a 1 mana interactive spell. Or I guess Red Blast doesn't do it there. So maybe they could still play around Red Blast, but they're not going to play around Flusterstorm anymore. Ren and 6. Alright, so they've got the card draw engine there. They don't have a Wastelander strip mine yet. Well, I'm just going to keep putting DACs onto the stack until one works. The old stack DAC. That one worked. Draw cards. Don't need this Flooded Strand or this Mox Sapphire. Actually, I should keep the Flooded Strand. I'll discard the Volcanic Island and Mox Sapphire. So finding a Ren and 6 of my own would be nice to start getting some card advantage. Of course, Ancestral Recall, always nice. DAC has fueled up the graveyard for Delve spells. Those are good draws. Hull Breacher sets up the hooks. Oh, there's the Wasteland. So now we're dealing with that. So it's DAC versus Ren and 6, dual DACs. Kind of regretting discarding that Mox Sapphire now, but that's okay. Ooh, that's less okay now. Yeah, definitely losing all my lands here is not what I wanted to do. But as far as high impact time walks go, and that one was like fine. So, Ren will be on 6 this turn. Alright, I do play a basic island that I can fetch for. They're not at a place, they're 2 land drops away from Mystic Sanctuary on that time walk. Yikes, that's bad. Okay, so that all went sideways pretty quickly. I'm actually probably going to lose this game. Ren and 6 in the Xerox mirrors is the workhorse. If you can get those that strip lock hook in early, it's basically GG. Well, if I force this, I don't have DAC, but if I don't force it, I lose. So I'm gonna make the forced play. No pun intended. Are their last 2 cards in hand force blue card? They have done some cantripping. It would be conceivable. I think that if I were in this position, I would not force here. Okay, they did force. So forcing here makes sure that you have Oko in play, but not forcing there means that you would have Ancestral Recall or Treasure Cruise covered. So let's draw one of those and punish. Or not. So Wrenn and 6 can emblem this turn. We know their hand is Flooded Strand Wasteland right now. Alright, they've emblemed. They draw a second Wrenn. Oh no, they can just time walk for the rest of the game. They have 1 land left in hand, so they can attack for 3, then attack for 6. So I'm taking 9 off of the time walks that I can see. Okay, yeah, this is a bad spot. It's safe to say. If they draw a land, I lose. Like this turn or next turn. I guess I'm not dead to a land. Oh, yes, I am, because I have to fetch to play any more spells. So if their cards in hand are lands, I lose. If they're spells, I also lose. Alright, yep. GG. Yeah, the steamroll nature, the haymaker nature of this matchup, I think that boarding out of Force of Will is probably wrong. I've been waffling on that the entire league, or the entire tournament, as you've all seen. I think that Lightning Bolt is worse than Force of Will, even on the play. Like, I want to get ahead and stay there. This is a turn 2 Wrenn. I'll keep it. And I can hold up Flusterstorm in the meantime. Right, they went to 6. I'll play the Volcanic Island so they can have to respect both Red Blast and Flusterstorm. So I can play careful here. Like, I can just pass the turn again until I can protect my Wrenn. Oh, now I get to look and see if I need to be respectful or not. Flusterstorm, Hullbreacher, Narset, Pyroblast, Dreadhorde Arcanist. Alright, so Wrenn can resolve this turn, but is that even good? And I don't have another play, so I might as well get it in there. Unfortunately, I don't have a land to regrow. But I will start ticking up towards that emblem. They can Dreadhorde Arcanist this turn. I'd really like to draw a land so I can Hull Breach, but I guess they have the Pyroblast to protect, so that doesn't actually matter. But drawing a land to get Wrenn, actual value out of Wrenn, would be nice. It is too much to ask, though. Alright, definitely an awkward start here. But I do have pretty good protection up. Let's see if they want to attack me or pressure Wrenn in 6. Like, if Wrenn is absorbing the life total damage and they're just drawing cards along the way, I mean, that drawing cards is the important part, but it's not the worst. Like, Wrenn is doing a good job absorbing damage. They top the Preordain again. Can't find a bad card, it seems. That Wasteland is brutal. Alright, they seem more interested in holding up Hullbreacher, though. Okay, so they have Flusterstorm and... Alright, yeah, I'll go for my Preordain. Let's hope they just Hullbreach in response. Alright, didn't fall for it. I don't want a Mox Emerald. Or do I want a Mox Emerald versus the Wasteland? But I also know about that they play Dak. Alright, I'm gonna bottom top. I don't want them both, that's for sure. I should activate Wrenn and 6, huh? Before I pass the turn. Really wish that was a fetch land, but here we are. Go for that Hull Breacher. I think not responding to Preordain was a mistake. If you're going to end step this thing anyway, like, why would you respect the counterplay earlier in the turn before the cantrip and not respect it after the cantrip? I guess they just baited me into resolving Narset. Oh, Merchant Scroll. So my 2 Flusterstorms here are going to fight over these 2 Ancestrals. Let's see if they want to fluster me back or if they just want to take the cast off Dreadhorde Arcanist. So they're going to fluster the second one. Yeah, they can fluster back here, but that taps them out coming into my turn. Though they do get an Ancestral Recall out of the deal. And there's always a possibility they misclick their own Flusterstorm. Good luck with that. Resolving Flusterstorm on MTGO is its own challenge. No. All right, looks like they figured it out. All right, they get to Ancestral. And they pass the turn pretty quick after that, so Narset, let's do it. They also have a Narset. I have this. All right, what did they pitch to their force? They pitched another force to force. Okay. All right, Lightning Bolt or Wrenn and 6. If I pick the Lightning Bolt, then they can waste me off red, and I might not be able to cast it. Oh, that's not true. I have Wrenn and 6. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in Lightning Bolt, as they are likely to have Narset in play next turn anyway. All right, yeah. Wasting me doesn't do anything except deny them a mana. Answering this Dreadhorde Arcanist will go a long way. All right, Lightning Bolt, I was just going to say, is super shitty because it can meaningfully pressure Wrenn. It can kill Narset outright. It's a card, one of the few cards in the deck that Dreadhorde Arcanist can still get value off of with Narset in play. Now they can take the line of take me off red with Wasteland, and I don't have the Wrenn to pick it back up. Wow, they just had everything. Okay. And okay, they're casting their own Narset. That's actually kind of a relief, rather than wasting me off red. Preordain on the top. So Bolt you. I am more worried about Dreadhorde Arcanist right now than the other cards. Alright, so they're looking for a spell first. Yeah, I wanted to hang that out a little bit and try to get them with Hull Breacher. Alright, please don't have Red Blast. No Red Blast, no Bolt. No! That's all 4 Force of Wills, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. No, maybe it's just 3. It's a lot of Force of Wills. Alright, this stack's probably going to shut it down. Yeah, now I'm going to have to... Like, I can't cast cantrips because of Narset. Anything I don't cast just goes away because of Dak. Like, it can start targeting me. Just took me off red. Yeah, that Force of Will was clutch. The Force pitched the Preordain, okay. Alright, I can fire off a Wasteland, try to start getting control of the game, but if they have Wrenn and 6 at any point, I'm gonna wish I didn't do that. Yeah, I'll save my Wasteland. It's gonna be really hard to come out of this. Goyf's gonna make it even worse. That's a very fast clock from here. I basically need to draw like an answer to Narset and then Ancestral Recall in that order. And I can't even bluff that that's anything because of the Dak Narset combo. They have Dig Through Time too. Alright, that'll do it for me. I played a lot of Rug Mirrors and I played either 4 or 5 Rug Mirrors and I lost all but one of them. So that tells me that there's something wrong with my list. I think that, I don't know, I just don't believe for a second that my opponents are all just luckier than me. That's not really how Magic works, certainly not how Vintage works. So something is wrong with my list or the way I played it. I might have to study these videos or seriously reevaluate my list to figure it out. Our main deck should be pretty close. Some people are playing more Dreadhorde Arcanist and less Tarmogoyf, and maybe that's a better steamroll kind of threat. Like I would have, if I knew I was going to play 4 or 5 mirrors, I think I would have more Dreadhorde Arcanist and less Tarmogoyf. But if I'm playing against shops or combo, I think I'd rather have more Tarmogoyfs. So that's a small place where decisions can be made. Also, everybody I played against had at least one Hull Breacher, so that Force of Negation slot that the Hull Breacher is currently occupying seems to be consensus. Whether it's great or not, unsure. I played a lot of answers to Hull Breacher, so it is weird how many times I just got completely destroyed by it. But maybe it's time to, if everyone's playing fair like this, maybe it's time to pivot into Dark Petition Storm or some sort of Breach combo deck and punish the fair decks. I liked this deck a lot because it beat up on Paradoxical Outcome and Hogak, and this build felt less good against Hogak. I mean, sample size of 1, take that with a grain of salt, but this felt less good against Hogak than it did a couple months ago at Eternal Weekend, and nobody's playing Paradoxical Outcome anymore, so that's just not even part of the metagame. So time to make some adjustments to this deck with the metagame in mind, or just make a switch and come in targeting Rug next time around. So thanks for watching. This was a disaster of a tournament result, but learned a lot about the format right now. Just knowing if your deck is good or not is very important to know moving forward. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.